Today is a great, wonderful, amazing, incredible day, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a Sweden day. Is Stockholm subway doomed in 2025? Without further ado, let's get into this reaction. Let's go. Guys, I am back. Hello, how are you guys doing? Have you had an amazing Christmas / Yule? Have you had an amazing Happy New Year? I hope you've had an amazing one. I've had a great one. I'm back in the UK, which is really weird. If I haven't seen you, if you didn't join me for the live stream was amazing. Oh my God, the turnout. Everyone who turned up, I love you very much. Thank you for turning up because it was such a good time. If you missed it, don't worry because I'm going to be doing more live streams. But yeah, I'm back in the UK now and it's weird because now I'm on the same time zone as you. And yeah, it's weird. Like, it's great, but yeah. But guys, anyways, let's get into this video. I'm so happy to be back in the UK and I'll be visiting Sweden very, very soon. But in the meantime, let's get on with this video.
Subway is pretty amazing. It's full of gorgeous art and it's a quick and efficient way to get around in Stockholm. Well, you'd better enjoy it while you can because things are changing and the Stockholm subway might be doomed.
It might be doomed.
Since 2009, the company MTR have been operating the Stockholm subway and there's been a fair bit of complaining about that. But things are changing in 2025. Recently, there's been a public procurement process to determine who will operate the subway as of next year. It's a deal worth more than 40 billion Swedish kronor, more than 4 billion euros.
So 40 billion is 4 billion. Ah, okay. So like 3 billion, that's a lot of money. Whoever is taking on that role of being the new operator for your trains, for your subway, that is a lucrative deal. I wonder who they've got. Maybe that's the controversy. Is it because they've got someone who's shady to operate your rails? I don't know. Let's see.
At first glance, this doesn't sound all that strange. Operators change all the time as new companies emerge to offer better or cheaper services. 4 different companies offered bids for how to operate the subway, and one of those companies won. That sounds pretty standard, doesn't it? It's business as usual. Well, maybe not. The company that won is called Connecting Stockholm, and there are some worrying signs about them. And there are also questions about whether or not the procurement process was handled correctly. And
was the procurement... He's being very cryptic, but I'm getting the feeling that whoever is the operator or the new operator, this Connect Stockholm, whoever they are, the way they've managed to procure this deal, this lucrative deal, is in a shady way. Are they friends with the government? Are they the government's like pals? Who's pocketing the money from this? I need to know more.
if Sweden is as free from corruption as we like to think.
By the way, your subway stations are ridiculous. They're beautiful. We don't have anything like that in the UK. We have nothing like that. Your stations are just, I don't know who the artist was that painted and sculptured and designed all your train stations, your subway stations. But if you go to London and you check out the London Underground, it is hideous. It is hideous. Bar maybe like 1 or 2 stations, maybe like King's Cross is quite nice architecturally, and maybe Paddington, maybe 1 or 2 stations, but nothing like this. God, this is gorgeous.
A couple of years ago, I made a video about the subway yard in Stockholm, and I'm happy that I get an excuse to return and show off more of it. I just wish that I had a better reason for making this video. Instead of focusing on all of this fascinating art, I'm gonna focus on the operations of the subway. And there's a lot to talk about when it comes to how the Stockholm subway is operated. First of all,
He's being so cryptic. Come on, let's get to the point, mate.
I need to mention that MTR, the ones operating the subway right now, aren't exactly doing a stellar job. But I guess you figured as much. There's been a lot of problems with the subway, especially now in 2024. The Stockholm subway has 3 lines: the red line, the green line, and the blue line. The green line is the oldest, and parts of it opened in 1950. It runs roughly from the southeast to the northwest of Stockholm. The second oldest is the red line that runs from the southwest to the northeast. And then you have the blue line.
You have a lot. You have... It's a smaller subway. I'm guessing Stockholm is a lot smaller than London. It sounds it. Because I think London's got like 6 or 7 lines. A lot of lines. So yours, Stockholm's smaller, right? That's what it sounds like to me. By the way, I have a cup of tea. I hope you don't mind. I'm back in England now. This is so random. This is like a live stream, but it's not a live stream. This is an actual video. I'm going to do it anyways. I have... Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? I don't want to spill it. Can you see? Aha. Cup of tea. Because now I'm in England. Now I can drink tea. Because it's freezing outside. What's the weather like in Stockholm? Let me know in the comment section below. It's been snowing here. And I looked on BBC Weather. So every time I look at BBC Weather now, I look at Stockholm, I look at Sweden, I look at Denmark, I look at Finland. And apparently this weather system that we've had that's been like bringing loads of snow is making its way towards you. So I have a feeling it'll be hitting you, if not on Monday today, Tuesday. Let me know in the comment section if I'm right. But when I was looking at the weather system, it looked like it's coming your way. So brace yourself, because it's a lot of snow. I love tea. I've missed tea, mate. I've missed tea. Being in Asia is not the same. Hot tea is good.
This line that runs from the center of the city to the north. And the blue line in particular has been suffering during 2024. Early June, the entire blue line stood still because they noticed damages on all the subway cars. A faulty train switch had damaged every single car on the blue line, so they all had to be repaired. Subway cars were borrowed from the red line, so that of course caused even more chaos and delays on that line as well. Around 150,000 people travel on just the blue line every day, so this incident affected hundreds of thousands of people. But that wasn't the only problem.
You don't want that in a capital city. Like, it has to run like clockwork, otherwise there's problems.
During 2024, oh no. There's been faulty subway cars on the red line. There's been even more train switch problems. And of course, there's been a lot of other cancellations and delays too. And let's not talk about the commuter trains, because those run into trouble every autumn and winter. Oh no, there's leaves on the track. Better stop the trains. Oh no, there's snow in Sweden. Better stop the trains. And so on.
You do have, I've got to be honest, we're like that in the UK. If there's any snow, even a light dusting, everything comes to a halt. I can imagine in Sweden, you get serious snow, like actual proper snow, not the little dusting of snow that we have. So I reckon that you need to stop the trains. The leaves on the track, though, I mean, that can't be serious. Hopefully they don't stop trains for that. But yeah, snow, I think snow, yeah, if it's bad, you need to not drive the trains because that's dangerous.
The subway isn't perfect, far from it, but it is a very convenient way to get around in Stockholm. And it's apparently very loud too. It's fast and efficient when it's running properly, and you can get to most parts of the city with a single...
Your stations are insane, mate. Your stations are insane. Don't ever take them for granted, I'm sorry. They're so nice and clean. Clean and just look at the architecture. Mate, come to London. Go to London and have a look at the underground stations. Horrible.
single subway ride. MTR isn't doing a great job, but they have kept the trains running. Sort of. But I guess that I should mention that some people have been very upset at MTR, especially train drivers. During 2023, the commuter train drivers in Stockholm were unhappy with their working conditions. Standard practice was that each train had one driver and one other staff member who could deal with any issues that might occur. MTR decided to cut costs and get rid of that additional staff member on each train, so the driver had to handle any unforeseen issues that might occur, for example with unruly people. The drivers felt...
I feel sorry for drivers. The thing is, when your job, his job, or her job, their job, is to drive the train. It's not to handle bloody disgruntled passengers who just want to complain and shout and be angry at this driver who all he's doing is driving the train. It's not his fault. Things are delayed. Things are broken. That's so unfair. I feel my heart goes out to train drivers in Stockholm. However, they do get paid really well, the train drivers. There was a time I was looking to become a train driver. I was like, they get paid really well. But still, it doesn't, the stress, you don't need that stress.
That this was an unrealistic expectation and that it led to a more hazardous working environment. So in April 2023, they went on a wild strike, something that's quite uncommon in Sweden. MTR refused...
Quite uncommon? Do you guys not strike? Is that not a Swedish thing? Like, is it not... Thinking about how... I love my Swedes, you know I love you guys. Thinking about how you guys are, actually I could see that. You're very polite. I don't think you'd want to strike and put an inconvenience on people. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you'd want that. So yeah, I can see that. So it's uncommon in Sweden. So if something goes bad, what do you normally do? You just don't normally strike. What do you do? What's your process? Because that's how we get things done in the UK. Forget the UK, France. Oh my God. They will strike for anything. I remember I went to France. When was it now? 2020. I want to say it was 2020. Was it after COVID? I don't know. It was sometime 3-4 years ago or something like that. I went to Paris with my partner and we arrived in Paris and just randomly they just decided, no warning, that they were all going to strike. All the train drivers, all the bus drivers, all the transport was shut down. And it's just a regular occurrence in France. England, we do strike. We're kind of in the middle. So you guys must be like the ones that just don't. Which is, my hat goes off to you, but like sometimes you have to strike to get things done. I've never participated in a strike. Funnily enough, when I worked in a hospital, and yeah, I've never participated in a strike. Yeah, even though I should have done, because NHS, the National Health Service, the pay is terrible.
Used to negotiate and also threatened to take legal action against the drivers. The strike ended after 3 days, and in the end MTR backed down from the legal threats, but they still refused to improve working conditions for the drivers. So as you can tell, people aren't super happy with MTR. But the problem is that things might get a lot worse in 2025. Let's talk about a company that won the procurement process to operate Stockholm subway in 2025. It's a company called Connecting Stockholm, but that's not the full story.
I love a good conspiracy. Hopefully it's a conspiracy. Who are they? Connect Stockholm. It kind of sounds like they just made up the name like on a whim. It's like we're trying to make money. We need a name. What name should we get? Connecting Stockholm. How about that? They do sound dodgy. I can't lie. Do you know what I mean? They don't sound like they've been around for very long, and there wasn't much thought. Let's see what he has to say.
Company called Connecting Stockholm, but that's not the full story. Getting the operating rights for the Stockholm subway was one of the biggest public procurement processes in the world. It's worth more than 40 billion Swedish kronor, which is a lot of money. But the company that won isn't an old established operator, it's a completely newly started company. And that company is in turn owned by a British company called Go Ahead. They own 55% of Connecting Stockholm shares. Ever since...
Oh no, I'm so sorry, guys. Of course they're a British company. I'm very, very sorry. I'm very sorry. Well, it's not my fault. But like, yeah, 55%. That's a lot. And you know what's really concerning? Is that our train stations are a problem. Sorry, our train lines are a problem. Like our train services. Not only are they so expensive, like a train from where I live in Leeds to London is about, I don't know, it's about, 200 miles. I don't know how long it is. Alexa, how far is Leeds to London on a train?
From Leeds, London is 310.2 kilometers away by car.
310.
Notify you when there's rain or snow expected in your area.
No.
Would you like me to do that?
No. 310.2 kilometers to get a train to, well, it's 310.2 kilometers from Leeds to London. And to get a train from Leeds to London, sorry, I had a brain fart there. It costs more than getting a flight from Leeds to Spain. Make that make sense. So this Connect for whoever they are, Connect whatever, if they have anything to do with our train services, you're kind of fucked. Excuse my French. Because you don't want anyone who's operated ours to operate yours. Oh God, this is going to end badly.
Since the 1990s, Go Ahead has been operating several railway lines in the UK. And there have been a lot of problems with those railways. In 2016, 60,000 trains were cancelled due to massive staff conflicts, as well as train track damages. Wait a second, that sounds eerily similar to the problems MTR have been having in Stockholm, except on a much bigger scale.
I'm so sorry, guys. As soon as he said they've been operating trains in the UK, I was like, oh, you're doomed then. You're absolutely doomed. There's kind of an ethics problem there, isn't it? Should a foreign country like England, should there be a foreign company owning such a big stake of a Swedish railway? I mean, like, that goes back to the thought of like all railways really should be public. Should be owned by the public, should be owned by the government rather than owned by private companies. But that's another story for another day. And I guess if they're a private company and they own part of the rail service, 55%, and they're British, I mean, you have Spotify. And I mean, Spotify is in all the Western countries in the world. So, yeah, can't really... That's how it works, isn't it, with private companies? But yeah, I'm really sorry that we have a company in common when it comes to our rail service, because our rail service is also very terrible.
But there's more. In 2018, 10,000 Go-Ahead trains were cancelled or delayed again, which caused massive problems for the UK train traffic for a long time. And in 2021, Go Ahead was forced to pay 360 million Swedish kronor due to tax fraud. The British government stepped in and nationalized parts of Go Ahead because of that. So while the Swedish people have been unhappy with MTR, the British people have been even more unhappy with Go Ahead. And Go Ahead is now the majority owner of Connecting Stockholm, who will be operating the Stockholm subway as of 2025.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to say, but good luck. Good luck. Wait a minute. So when I finally visit Sweden, I'm going to be going through Stockholm. It's a bloody British company that's going to be like operating 55%. You know what I mean? Owning 55% stake in the operation of your underground service. Oh dear.
What does Connecting Stockholm have to say about the go-ahead failures in the UK? Well, according to them, all of the go-ahead debacles in the UK were isolated incidents, and they're all handled and dealt with. I'm not sure about you, but 2021 doesn't seem all that long ago to me. They also claim that those incidents happened in the UK and thus have no relevance when talking about Swedish operations.
Wait, sorry, what? Is there that happened in the UK so it has no relevance to what's happening? Mate, literally, you guys are literally just over the water. What do they think just because there's a few miles separating us that there's going to be a difference in the way they operate? Nonsense.
So they're saying that things will be much better when they enter a completely new country that they're unfamiliar with. Again, I'm not sure about you, but to me that doesn't sound all that reassuring. In fact, I have a very bad feeling about 2025. There's been a lot
we're
of...
not all that different for it to be like, oh, we're going to go to a new country, so it's going to be completely different. No, the similarities to Swedes and Brits, there are a lot. There are enough for the way that we expect things to be run and the way that you expect things to be run to be very similar. So, yeah, I don't know what they're trying to say there.
Secrecy about the whole procurement process. No one knows what the winning bid was and what exactly the winning criteria were. We know that MTR lost and they have no plans on appealing the decision. However, another company that lost was Keolis, and they have issued a lot of complaints against the Stockholm Council. There were 4 participating companies, and 3 of them, one of which was Keolis, were disqualified for not fulfilling the requirements. Even though I don't think that those requirements were made public. And while it does make sense to disqualify unqualified companies, does it really make sense to simply pick the one that didn't fail miserably? I'm just speculating here, but maybe the reason that Connecting Stockholm didn't fail those requirements is because it's a completely new company that hasn't had time to show its ineptitude yet.
Literally is correct. Correct. I mean, the name Connecting Stockholm, as soon as I heard that name, I was like, somebody thought about that for all of 20 minutes. They thought Stockholm, we're connecting it, Connecting Stockholm. There was no thought, there was no care. It was just like, we're gonna make money. That's what it is. So I'd be worried, yeah, if I was Stockholm and I took the subway, because it doesn't sound like they care too much.
The Stockholm Council has stated that there were reasons for their secrecy surrounding the whole process, but as far as I know, they haven't actually explained what any of those reasons were.
Probably it was the highest bidder. Whoever bidded the highest, I don't know, did Connect for whatever the name is, Connecting Stockholm. Did they offer money? I think maybe.
It's a very big business deal, and there seems to be a lot of smoke and mirrors going around. I'm not saying that there's foul play and corruption involved, but I'm not saying that there isn't.
Who knows?
I don't have all the details about the Stockholm subway deal. In fact, I have almost no details at all. But I know that there's a lot of money involved, and that doesn't usually bring out the most honest and decent people. Maybe my fears are unfounded, and everything will go smoothly in 2025 when Connecting Stockholm starts operating the subway. Or maybe it will fail miserably within a year Stockholm starts founded, and everything will go honest and decent people. Maybe my fears are unfounded, and everything will go smoothly in 2025 when Connecting Stockholm starts operating.
So have they started already? Because obviously we're in 2025 now. I thought he said December, but he didn't say December. He just said 2025. Yeah, let me know if they've started to operate.
The subway. Or maybe it will fail miserably within a year from now, even more miserably than when MTR are running things. The future is a blank slate and none of us knows for sure. But given how Go Ahead operated in the UK, I think we're in for a shock. The only positive thing is that no matter how badly the subway is run, you can still admire the fantastic subway art in Stockholm. That might be a small comfort if you're facing huge delays or if your train is suddenly cancelled. But at least it's better than nothing. And that's about it.
Yeah.
That was a video about how Stockholm subway might be doomed in 2025. I hope you found it interesting. Like,
I love his storytelling. Hello, if you're watching, hi, how are you doing? He knows I love his videos actually, because I react to quite a lot of his videos. He's a good storyteller. Yeah, I really hope your subway is not doomed, because if it's doomed, yeah, that's an issue. And I'm worried for you because it's the same people that operate the UK subway system, and our train system is terrible. Yeah, especially for the price of things. It's horrible. Guys, thank you very much for watching. It's my first video back, so I'm kind of warming into things. Yeah, I hope you didn't mind me drinking my cup of tea. I've actually finished it. I mean, I am British, so I mean, that's kind of stereotypical, but I hope you didn't mind. Guys, have an awesome day, whatever you're doing, and until the next one, I will see you very soon.